What is up, guys? DZ here, and today I wanted to kind of talk about something I've discussed with my good friend Ricky Lee quite a bit. We talk about it all the time. Both of us have ridden in the cars of many regionals with many people at it's like their first regional or whatever, and we've talked theory a lot. We've talked sort of our background in Yu-Gi-Oh a lot, and this always comes up. And today we're going to be talking about sort of when Yu-Gi-Oh changes for a person. So most people don't just get thrown into the competitive scene with any game really, but especially with the card game. Usually you're probably going to buy maybe 2 starter decks with your friends or a group of friends, and you're going to play with those and see where that ends up. And you're going to play with each other for maybe like a couple weeks, maybe months, maybe years. And that's kind of where you stay at your local. Well, it's not even local. It's really just your friendly metagame, what have you, is all you really know. This might be, for me, it was definitely at my school. That was the local metagame, would be at school, and a lot of people it's like that, especially back when I was in middle school. Yu-Gi-Oh was just getting popular. But I think now it's probably either online or just with like a group of friends. But regardless, you have this like sort of friendly metagame with people that are all new with the game. Maybe one person that knows a little bit more than other people, but probably isn't very good. And this is just kind of where you stay for a while. But one day, eventually, probably, you're going to go to a tournament with those friends. For me, this was a local tournament. I think maybe like, I think it was a local tournament in 5th grade was the first tournament I went to. For some people, it's a regional. For a very small percentage of people, it's a YCS. I really, really doubt that happens a lot, but mainly it's going to be a local tournament or regional. And you and your friend group are going to go to this with starter decks and maybe a couple packs worth of extra support cards, and you're going to get waxed. I mean, there's no beating like the first trip to locals or the first trip to regionals. It's tough. You're gonna just get demolished. I think at some locals, this might not happen if it's a super casual place. But I think at most tournament stores, you're looking at maybe like 4 people that like really know what they're doing, and they'll just kick your ass in like 2 seconds. But maybe after the first couple rounds, you'll play against people that are like on the same level as you. But anyway, eventually you're going to go to a tournament, either locals or regionals, and you're just going to get shit on, like absolutely fucking smashed. And this is pretty much the turning point in everyone's Yu-Gi-Oh career, at least at the beginning, because what I've found is that everyone takes this one of 2 ways. Either you're going to be super discouraged and quit the game because it's so stupid and your cards that you thought were great suck and your deck's way slower than you thought it was, and you just want to stick with playing with your friends forever. You'll never go to a tournament ever again, and you'll just enjoy that friendly metagame until you stop playing the game. That's something that happens a lot. The other way that you can take it is, oh my gosh, the stuff their decks are doing is just so much better than what my deck is doing. That is so cool. I want to learn how to play decks like that. And I think this original decision really defines who you are as a Yu-Gi-Oh player. And I think this happens in almost any game that's played competitively. This exact sort of I want to say paths of destiny almost, but that's really cheesy. But it really is. You're really picking 2 very distinct paths. Well, you're picking one of them, but there's 2 options. And yes, there are middle grounds, but I think generally speaking, you're really just picking one or the other. You're either going to be super pissed that you just got smashed and then quit, or just go back to your friendly metagame, or you're just going to be so awestruck that decks can even do that the game is played on a level that you didn't even think was possible. When you go from playing like structure decks to someone playing like if you went to a tournament now and you were new, someone playing like BA or Monarchs or Cosmo, you'd probably just be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know the game was like this. It's really just for a lot of games, the competitive level of the game is just almost an entirely different game than how the starter decks and structure decks play, which is how, I mean, that's how they're designed. They're designed to be easy to pick up but hard to master. But I think this choice is really interesting, and I would definitely like to hear what happened with you guys in this particular scenario, kind of what went down. And if you have a middle ground choice, let me know what it is. I feel like anytime I've talked to someone that didn't pick one of those two or didn't think they picked one of those two, like very clearly were like 80%, 20%, where like one side was pretty much their decision. But yeah, I think this says a lot about you as a player, you as a person, and I really think it defines what happens later on. I know when I went to that tournament, obviously I'm here today, but I was just awestruck by how crazy the format was. That was back when like chaos control was like the best thing. Like everyone had like super rare giant germs, and I was like, everyone had giant germs. It was so crazy. I couldn't get over them. They were floaters. It was crazy. And BLS like wrecked my shit. But and I took it that way. So I think now, as I've just played more and more, every time it leads to like a deck that's just way better, it's less of, oh my god, I'm gonna quit this game because the meta is so stupid, and more of like, either how do I beat this or how do I play this correctly. And I guess what I'd also like to know is, depending on which choice you took, do you think that affects you or defines you as a player now, or did you break away from that shell? I think for most people it pretty much stays the same. People usually just stay the same over long periods of time. So I feel like if you were one of the people that initially rejected the game after this experience, and even if you decide to become competitive later, I feel like you're probably not someone playing meta, you're probably someone complaining about meta. But yeah, I guess I just want to talk about that in this video. Kind of just a weird thing I've been thinking about, especially now that we're going into the WCQ. But I'll see you guys later.